Okay, welcome back everyone. What we're going to take a look at here is the Module 3, excuse me, Individual Business Essay Development Assignment number 1. Now, as you may recall, we started this off with the idea you went to creating outlines of what this essay may look like. You did create a draft. They were reviewed by your teams, and then finally you actually created your final essay and uploaded it. So what I'm going to do now is walk through probably the way to proceed, actually the creating and the writing of this particular critical essay, and give you an example of one way that it could be done. But let's go ahead now and take a look and see what we've got going. Here again is the situation that you had to work with. Again, for this application, you're going to consider that you're going to write a critically informative business essay. Again, critically informative is important because it's business oriented. In other words, we're not worried about fluff, we're not worried about emotion, you're not trying to motivate, you're just giving facts. Now again, these are the three most important concerns that could be faced by a college freshman. Now again, these could have been something that you faced, something you saw somebody else face, or something you heard about. Again, that's not the point. It's just that you identified at least three that you thought were important. Now, you were to determine what was the issue, the pitfall, and or the potential problem that most college freshmen, from your point of view, will potentially be faced with. This next thing you needed to do was identify, well, how could they avoid these particular issues? And then finally, what happens if, they succumb to the issue, and how to get out of it? How to make amends, how to deal with it so they can proceed on a steady, successful course of study. Again, you were to write a critically informative business essay. Again, the actions as it states here were the three issues: identify and the required information as presented and requested as I mentioned above, and then finally write this critically informative business essay. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to go through and take a look at a possible rewrite. Now I'm going to look at it from the three specific parts of a business communique: the opening, the body, and the closing. Now we're going to start in just a moment here with a possible essay opening, and we'll take a look and see what my thought process was, and give you an example of what might be an appropriate one. Okay, now the business essay opening, or an opening of any business communique for that matter, really does one, maybe two specific things. First of all, it must begin with the purpose of the communique. Why is the reader reading this? And additionally, it helps you determine, why am I writing this? So again, that first sentence, that essay statement, if you wish, or that communique topic statement, needs to tell the reader why they are reading this particular document. Also in the opening, then what you need to do is kind of give them a little heads up of what to expect, particularly in the body of this communique. Again, you're not giving details, but if there are, in this case, three specific things, it doesn't hurt to mention the three things that you might be talking about. Also, maybe a tad information about, in this particular case, that, there are three pitfalls, and that, maybe there are remedies that we can look at also. So, the example that I actually put together here, let's take a look at it and see what I came up with. Now, the first sentence, as you can see here, the purpose of this essay is to present three pitfalls, and then I have in parentheses, and possible remedies that incoming college freshmen may experience. Now, again, it starts off with the statement, the purpose of this essay. Now, many students think that, oh my gosh, that's way too elementary. Can we do that? Well, certainly you can do that. No one's ever going to criticize you for being, shall we say, blunt and to the point in business writing. They're going to definitely criticize you if you were to start this essay off with, once upon a time when I was a college freshman, there were three things that I had to worry about. We don't care about that. In business, we just want to know the facts. Just tell me what I need to know so I can use it and move on. And again, keep that in mind and you'll be okay. So I tell you there are three pitfalls, and I'm suggesting, there are possible remedies that I'll probably be talking about also. Now, I mentioned specifically what those pitfalls are. In this case, the pitfalls are time management, financial issues, and health concerns. I stated them, and I'm now letting the person know what to expect in the body. And then I actually come out and say with my transition, each will be discussed below. So let's go ahead now and move on into what would be considered the body. And we're going to take a look at each paragraph in particular. Now, again, the body needs to cover the information that was introduced in the opening. Now, in my particular case, I mentioned the three pitfalls, and I said specifically time management first, financial issues second, and then finally health concerns. As I mentioned a number of times in class and in individual discussions, team discussions, you need to create a logical flow in the mind of the reader. Now, once I said those three things in that order in the opening, I must present or discuss each of those in that specific order. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what we got here. The first I'm going to talk about is time management. I said it first in the opening, so let's go ahead and talk about it now. So I'm saying, what is it? Time management is a common issue for freshmen. Okay. Generally, it is the first occurrence that they are living away from home. I'm kind of giving a little background, just a pinch. Without parental oversight, freshmen may waste time that should be devoted to schoolwork. Missing classes and homework assignments are typical results. Okay, and then how to avoid it? To avoid this, freshmen can seek assistance from academic advisors and upper level students. Now, I set a pattern up in this first body paragraph. I said, what is the issue? Maybe a tad background. What is an example or what could happen if you fall victim to it, and then how to get out of it. So that's also a logical order that I've created in the mind of the reader. So in the next body paragraph, I have to take a look at the next issue in the same logical pattern. So let's see what we come up with. The next, as I mentioned, was financial issues in the opening. So we're going to talk about financial. Financial issues are not easily recognized by freshmen. They may start the term with a large bank account. Unbridled spending eventually results in significant reductions to this account balance. Okay? To avoid this, the freshman should consider the development of and following a budget for the school year. So again, I state what is the issue, a tad background about it, what happens if you don't pay attention, and then how to get out of it. The third body paragraph. Again, I mentioned in the opening, was health. So let's talk about it. Health concerns are faced by all freshmen. Exercise routines may change. Meal plans allow for unwise dietary selections, and reduction in sleep will run down the immune system. To avoid this, freshmen should pay attention to what their bodies are telling them, the need for exercise and good nutrition and plenty of rest. So, excuse me. Again, as I did, I said, what's the issue? A little background, what can happen, and then how to get out of it. Now you see the pattern has been established. You'll notice in this writing, there's nothing in here that's emotionally driven, nothing to motivate. It's very much kind of blunt. This is what it is, this is what you can do, and this is what you shouldn't do. Again, as I mentioned before in class, it's like the directions on a can of Campbell's soup. 1, open a can. 2, pour contents into saucepan. Again, it doesn't tell you when you open a can, make sure you don't cut your fingers. And then when it says pour into the saucepan, it doesn't say be sure you don't spill all over the stove. No, it gets right to the facts, and that's what I am looking for. Finally, what we have to do now is kind of close this thing up. So we had the opening, we told you what it's all about, we gave you the details in the body, and now we've got to wrap it up and send people on their way, so to speak. So let's take a look at the closing. Again, the closing does not, first of all, present any new information. If there is any information that is new, needs to go back into the body and be placed there. What you can do is you can provide a summary, you can provide a final statement, a final thought. Here in the closing you can add a little bit of motivation if you think so, but again, don't go overboard with it. But most of all, you need to have that call for an action, and usually that's the last sentence. Well, I would suggest you use it as the last sentence. Again, the call for action can be implied, meaning you should do something or could do something, or expressed, you got to do something, you must do something. Now, in this particular case, we really don't have to have an express call for an action. It can be more implied. So let's take a look and see what I came up with as far as an example. Now, again, a final closing here. While each college freshman is faced with certain pitfalls, when recognized, they can be overcome. Okay, a summary. Very general, and it's all we need. Be aware, plan corrective actions, and the college freshman will survive the first year. Again, that is the call for an action. Again, it's not telling them to do it, but it is suggesting that if they are aware of these issues, if they plan accordingly and figure out how to get out of it if they have a problem, all should be okay that first year. So again, short, sweet, to the point. I guess that's it for now. Oh, I'm sorry. Before we run away, this is how it looks in its entirety. You can certainly take a look at it. You see it is all on one page. Well, it would be all on one page. It's approximately, like I said, they could make this in 3 sentences each. I did a little more just, to give a little more depth, but it could certainly have been, a little more concise, but this is fine. But you can see it fits on one page. It's nice, neat, to the point, and should take care of the job. So that's about it for this particular exercise. If you review, compare it to what I returned back to you. If you have issues, you want to talk about it, feel free to shoot me an email, and we'll have a talk. Thanks, and talk to you soon. Bye now.